Hello everyone, my name is Timo Lehtonen. I work at Solita and here is my colleague.
Yes, hello, my name is Juha-Pekka Joutsenlahti and I'm from Solita as well.
We have been cooperating with University of Helsinki, Mikko Raatikainen, Elina Kettunen, and Tommi Mikkonen. We are talking here about the interesting domain of foreign trade. Over 80% of foreign trade is carried by sea. The problem in Finland is that, well, if you are going to, for example, Kemi by sea transport, you can advance at the sea, but as you can see, there's ice coverage, which is the red color on this screen. But luckily, there are like 8 icebreakers which are going to help you for free. So here we have Polaris, which is a Finnish icebreaker. And actually, this you can see this animation. I'll go it through. So the ship is able to advance near Kemi, and then the vessel can even need assistance like towing during the winter time. So this is the real world phenomenon we are talking about. And we have found 2 interesting and important problems to be solved with machine learning actually. And the first one is prediction of estimated time of arrival of a vessel to a port. The second one is about predicting sudden stops, because it's very dangerous if a ship collides with another. The solution actually is rather easy, well, or at least we think it like it could be possible to solve this with machine learning. We combine the vessel metadata to vessel location data, then we have the ice forecast and wind forecast, and we can actually predict the conditions pretty well with this kind of data set. We can upload the data to AWS SageMaker, for instance, or any other notebook system, Google or Azure, or well, even any can work. So we can actually build even a machine learning pipeline. We can combine the source data, then pre-process, divide to train, test, validation, train a model, build the model and deploy it to, for example, to the sea. What is actually a problem? You can see actually that the icebreaker even stopped because of these governance issues we have. And now J-P is going to tell you about these issues.
Yes, so in order to solve those problems with machine learning, we naturally need the data. And most usual way of getting the data is through APIs, and in order to do proper machine learning, also the data need to be in a proper shape through the API, and API governance is something that needs to be considered. So we have recognized 5 challenges when we are reading the data through an API, which are having the relevant data, having also the historical data included as we get the data through API, the licensing. So when we are combining multiple different APIs with the different types of licensing, how to manage that. That is one of the challenges. Also, how to maintain the runtime quality for the API, and also the evolution of the API. So those are the five challenges we identified, and we approached these challenges with the data governance aspects that need to be considered with these challenges, and these aspects being change control, so how to control the change of the API, impact of the changes, so whenever the API changes, how does that impact the business, policy specification and analysis, so how do we grant access to the relevant parties accessing the data, consistent policy implementation, so how do we manage the API so that the access rights and the API structure are not tied together. Also the lifecycle alignment, so how do we align the life cycle of the API from design to development through deployment until the retention. Also, how to maintain the API integrity, and finally the monitoring and auditing of the API. And in this diagram, you can see the cross mapping of these different challenges and aspects, and how we see that the different aspects should be considered in order to manage the recognized challenges.
What do you think? What is the hardest challenge in this matrix, if you have to name one or two challenges?
Yeah, I think the main challenge, of course, having the relevant data is nowadays, I think, one of the main concerns. So as we are having so much different kind of data from many sources in so many different contexts, so we also need to semantically understand the content of the data we are getting in order to put that in the right context in the machine learning as well.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so well, when these challenges have been solved, we are lucky we can go to future work and implement those machine learning models. And luckily, we have this kind of new road opening in the north. So the Northern Sea route is opening, and we have this agile Finnish icebreaker, which can go actually there and break the ice based on machine learning solutions. So it can help and assist the vessels. It's like 5 years of work to that. But yeah, okay. So thank you for this opportunity.
Yes, thanks.
So welcome backstage, and you can see outdoor backstage in Finland and outdoor backstage in Sweden, demonstrating that we actually can stay outside in northern countries as well. So tell me about this work on APIs. What kind of attitudes have you met again towards open APIs? It's sometimes debated to what extent you can open up the system. Is that something you have seen in this work?
Well, yes and no. We've been doing this in the research project for a year and a half. The project is just about the end, or maybe it ended technically at the well, today, because it is supposed to end in May for the last partners. And some of the partners are really willing to open up their APIs, especially when it comes to the public services that are being built. At the same time, some of the service providers, even public ones, seem to believe that they should actually try to make whatever business they can make out of the data and out of the APIs they have. And there are several takes to that. At times it seems that for instance, if you want to get the real-time data from the open API, you would have to subscribe and pay for it. But if you are okay with the delayed data, then there will be no charge. So that you could build the applications and show that here's the cool stuff that we can make if you choose to open up the APIs or pay for the open access. But at the same time, the business models are largely undefined at the moment.
Right. So there is a question in the chat about standardization. Do you see any trends of standardization, or will the lack of standards be a continuous challenge in defining APIs and data formats?
I think that in the short term, this will still remain a problem because of many reasons. Data might be dirty and so on. But in the long run, we will definitely get standardized solutions, because otherwise things will simply not work correctly.
Right.
At the same time, I am also sure that there will be cases where the data formats will be different over time. So that if you look at the history data, it is not in the same format as the present day data.
Right. So thank you very much. And now it's over to the chat rooms.